surprising pairing. As with Eve, with flowers, garlands, sweet-smelling herbs, espoused Eve decked first her nuptial bed. Women are delicate and need to be managed, no, cultivated, as flowers. As garland and herb illuminates a man's senses, so shall a wife's sensibility make a good helpmate to her husband.
I bet. A wife as a flower? You must be telling a joke. This is why we women are here. In this single moment of aching sadness and contemplating the short life, the unacceptable, incomprehensible death of a child, we confirm, defer, or lose our faith. Here, in the tick-tock of this moment, in this place, all our questions, all our fear, our outrage, confusion, desolation seem to merge, snatch away the earth, and we feel as though we're falling. Do you think women are naturally delicate and submissive? That they're made to cower and hide their true selves, both in the home and outside of it? Even the law does it. Do you know that every law in this country is made to keep women back? But God had given us a second chance.
Well, laws are fair, Morrison. They only reflect and protect against the evils of parenting people, especially women. Tax not divine disposal, wisest men have erred, and by bad women been deceived, and shall again pretend they're ne'er so wise. Women are always going to betray you, and so they should be held accountable socially and by law.
What? I don't think that's true at all. Are you hearing yourself?
I'm just trying to have a conversation. Why do I humble thus myself and sue? For peace reap nothing but repulse and hate. For someone who disagrees with me so much, you haven't offered any real response.
You call this humility? I call this rage. Rage and a determination to take on a man's role. What's wrong, John? You feeling small, empty? You need your little appetite filled? Some posture of your superiority recognized? You expect me to care deeply about how you hurt? And here I was, believing it was God who I should be weary of. It isn't God's brow to be feared, it's man's. They run everything, control everything. Men already have the power and ability to act over us. We aren't asking for much, unless it's too much to ask for the same recognition that you enjoy.
So, you, as a woman, are adored, protected, sheltered. What more do you want? You're asking to be the center of everything, to be the most important. Do you want men to bow to you instead of working to take care of you? It sounds like you want fame, glory, to be special. But fame is spurred to score delights and live laborious days. Comes the blind fear.
You know what? The more we talk, the more I realize that there is something wrong with your thinking if you believe that my ambition for women to be seen as subjects of their own narratives rather than objects in men's is a reach for fame or glory. And not just an object, a threatening and unruly object when it tries to become a subject. independent, autonomous. Women should be seen as valuable for these qualities. So tell me, how would that be equitable with Greek?
In argument with men, a woman ever goes by the worst, but ever be her cause.
Yeah, okay, sure. And validate me, undermine my opinions by talking about how hard it is to argue with a woman. But it's not that easy of an argument. That's the difference between us. You see a door. I see a window. Women are trapped and you don't have anything to lose.
But you see, that's the problem. Women do have windows.
Where?
In houses they get to live in, built by men who love them. Isn't that right? Women are only important as references in men's narratives. Look at the first ever narrative of man. Woman created from Adam's rib. Therefore, God's universal law gave to the man this third power over his female in due awe, nor from that right to part an hour. Smile she or lour, so shall he least confusion draw on his whole life, not swayed by female usurpation, nor dismayed.
Then which God are you talking about? Must be your God. Your God that made women lowly and inferior, the sin and temptation of man. We're looking at the same story and seeing different things. I see instead the turbulence of females trying to bridle without being trampled, the monsters that slavered them.
The position of women as inferior to man is the order of things. It's just how it is. It's part of the order of how life is supposed to be. Women are, as in the Garden of Eden, far too rebellious. Seeming at first all heavenly under virgin veil, soft, modest, meek, demure, once joined the contrary she proves, a thorn. If women don't maintain the harmony of our societal structure ordained to us by God, a great power beyond our comprehension, how do you expect to get to heaven?
And you think this is a story to pass on? You've got to be kidding me. This is not a story to pass on. Your rhetoric, it's not a story. It's not a story to pass on, and it's not God's rhetoric, but men's, and it should be remembered as wrongful, as encouraging the subjugation of people who do not belong to your gender and race. A Negro woman can have A1 credit, solid collateral, and not a hope in hell of a bank loan. Think about that, okay? Is that order? Should I passively accept that so that I can one day enter a better afterlife?
Well, of course, Morrison. I mean, look at the Virgin Mary. She was forced to watch her only son, the Son of God, no less, suffer. And she had faith in her place in the world. Her place as a woman in the world. What could be harder than that? Within her breast, though calm, her breast, though pure, motherly cares and fears got head and raised some troubled thoughts, which she in sighs thus clad. Oh, what avails me now that honor high, to have conceived of God, or that salute, hail highly favored among women blessed.
John, do you hear yourself though? Seriously. Do you hear yourself? You're asking women to silence their experiences because you think it's the right thing to do. You think I shouldn't inconvenience you because my pain is the price of reaching paradise, whatever that is in your mind? You think women's silence is how she should reconcile with the problems in her life? Well, you know what I think? There, in the center of that silence, was not eternity, but the death of time and a loneliness so profound, the world itself had no meaning.
Morrison, you do realize that what you are saying is typical of someone who has already fallen, who has already doomed themselves to hell, just as Satan felt when he traveled from hell to Eden to sabotage Adam and Eve in the garden. He thought, which way I fly is hell. Myself am hell, and in the lowest deep, a lower deep, still threatening to devour me, opens wide, to which the hell I suffer seems a heaven. That is what happened to someone who doubted and betrayed their place with God and within the world.
Well, you know what? Just send me to hell then. I'd rather go to hell because the concepts you're talking about, heaven, hell, the order of life and life after death, God, we're thinking of the same concepts and seeing things completely different. Your whole life's belief is a mystery. Belief is a mystery. Faith is a mystery. But God is not a mystery. We are. You are. I am. You're not talking about living with God's order. You're talking about this patriarchal landscape that women are born into. Women aren't falling by defying you. They're raising themselves up from the dirt that they're born in. The idea of paradise is no longer imaginable, or rather it's over-imagined, in which amounts to the same thing and has therefore become familiar, commercialized, even trivial. You know what? I'm done with this conversation.
Well, Morrison,
What, John?
I have to say, you have made some pretty solid points.
That's right.